Hello caffeine fiends and welcome to another coffee review for www.getbeaned.com. I'm Vince the Mean Bean Machine and today we're looking at Brew Coffee Plus's Tapiyplaya from Bolivia. So it's a Bolivian single origin brought to us by Brew Coffee Plus. Now, Brew Coffee Plus, I believe, are a roastery in Streatham, London. And that's who I bought this from. But I bought this actually from an organisation called Brewed Online, so brewed.online. And they collect together sort of independent roasters, I suppose, and sell their products all in one place. I believe they're roasters themselves and have a shop in like Green Lanes in London. I don't know, this is just kind of things I've read, I've not been there. But yeah, so I brought this from brewed.online for a tenner. £10 exactly. For 250 grams. So, is it 250 grams or is it 200 grams? 200 grams. £10 for 200 grams. So it's £1 for 20 grams of coffee. God, it's getting expensive to drink coffee. Anyway, I am buying this coffee because I haven't heard of Brewed Plus. I've not used Brewed Online before. I was looking for kind of different independent roasters, so Brewed Online is a good place to start for me. So I thought this sounds interesting. Let's give it a go. So, flavour notes of lemon zest, floral and vibrant. So lemon zest and floral fine, but vibrant. So what I'm sort of getting from that is that I'll get quite a punchy drink, quite acidic, quite bright, with that kind of lemon zest and then floral notes, and then vibrant. So I think that that means it should come through more of the milk. It won't be too diluted. That's what I'm assuming. Now, this is not a flavour palette I would usually be drawn to, so I'm quite interested to see how it works out. Quite a lemony floral drink though. Sounds quite pleasant, doesn't it? Especially at the moment in the summer. Yeah, so I've ground it up and I'll do my standard Espresso Shot cleanse palette oat latte. Let me just wet my whistle. Before we begin, let me give it a go. So, here is the Espresso Shot. It smells quite lemony, or quite florally, not quite lemony. I guess more of a lemongrass. You know, not a strong, acidic, sweet or bitter lemon, but that sort of essence of lemon with a floral tone, yeah? So, I'm expecting a little bit of bite from this Espresso Shot. But here it goes. Choo-choo. Yeah, not as bright and as acidic as I would have assumed, but more floral than I expected. So there's this kind of nice light note, not particularly biting, but this sort of bright tone does play across the tongue. So the lemon is right, but it just doesn't bite like you'd expect that sort of citrusy note to. But it's very bright, plays across kind of the tip of the tongue rather than the back of the mouth. Mouthfeel doesn't clutch at you, but it's not particularly sticky or viscous. It remains kind of bright and fresh as it goes down, which is not something I really expect from my coffees. But again, I'm drawn to the palette of chocolatey or caramelly, so I like a kind of syrupy, viscous mouthfeel, which isn't there at all. It just kind of slides down and that's your lot, and you get this sort of bright, fresh sort of aftertone, like a fruity aftertone. But it's not, with those notes of lemon, floral, vibrant, I was just expecting something more bold and a little bit sharper. But that's not unpleasant. And just as a shot, I think that's kind of a nice, almost kind of fresh shot, which you don't get a lot with coffee. You don't say, oh, coffee is fresh. but you know, there is that brightness definitely there. So how do I think that's going to turn out in the latte? I'm hoping that kind of brightness comes through, but it's not too acidic, because not that there was a lot of acidity in that, I've said that kind of, but it doesn't really push through. So I'm hoping that brightness pushes through the milk. But I don't think it will necessarily complement the milk. I don't think a oat latte is where that flavour palette will be best served. I think this is probably a flavour palette that's best served black or espresso shots. But you never know. You never know. It's an interesting one. I've not had a lot of Bolivian coffees. I've had a lot of South American coffees. I've probably had a fair few Bolivian kind of blends, maybe, but not single origin. But yeah, bright, yeah, but not bold. So here's the oat latte. Let's see how this goes. Interesting. I don't think that tone does complement oat milk, but it does come through. There is that slightly, it almost moves from a slightly lemon florally essence to more kind of lemon drops, more of a lemon taste, but it's not bright and bold. It's more, the taste is there, but the effect, as it were, that freshness, that bold spikiness isn't there. Just kind of seeps through a little bit, and it's just a little disconcerting with milk, you know. Not unpleasant, but not favourable. The more I drink it, the more I sort of accept it. It's got quite almost a floral tea tone. If it's, I guess, like I said earlier, lemongrass, like lemongrass tea. There's something about it like that. That there's this sort of floral grassy note, and there is an essence of lemon in it. So if they'd said lemongrass, I'd be all over that. But I just don't think it works. Certainly not for me as a latte, but as a black drink or as an espresso, I think that could probably really come into its own. So I'm going to go away and think about it, write up some notes, and I'll get back to you. In the meantime, do hit those like and subscribe buttons. Check us out at www.getbean.com. Do check out our other videos, our reviews on the website. I write coffee shop reviews on the website from all over Europe and the world when I get about. So yeah, check us out. Hit those like and subscribe buttons because it helps our viewership, helps me out. Yeah, and I'll see you all in a sec. So my final thoughts on Brew Coffee Plus is Tapiyplaya is 3 stars, just because. So my notes are floral and lemon tones, notes that are not particularly bold or acidic, nice and fresh feel, nice fresh mouthfeel though, but it doesn't really work with milk, and that's, I mean, it does what it says on the packaging really nicely, so it's a solid coffee. It just wasn't for me at the end of the day. Doesn't mean it's bad, it is a very pleasant, nice coffee, but just not for me. So I had to give it 3 stars in the end. But it does do what it says on the packaging, so I can't fault it for that. It's a good coffee. But it just doesn't appeal to my palate at the end of the day, which I sort of expected given those tasting notes. But you've got to give these things a go. 3 stars, very solid coffee. Do give it a go. If you fancy it, check out Brewed online. And yeah, we'll see you all again soon. Take care, bye bye. Do hit those like and subscribe. See ya.